When we talk about the United States government, most people think of Washington, D.C., Congress, the President, and the Supreme Court. But under the U.S. Constitution, power is divided between the federal government and the states. This division is known as federalism. Today, we'll explore 10 major areas where the federal government cannot control the states. Along the way, we'll highlight key Supreme Court cases that reaffirm state powers, showing how the balance between national and local authority has been preserved over time. Let's dive in. 1. Conducting state and local elections. Elections are the foundation of democracy. States run their own elections and set voter registration rules, ballot design, early voting, and vote counting procedures. In Arizona versus Inter-Tribal Council of Arizona, 2013, the Supreme Court confirmed that states maintain control over voter registration for federal elections. In Shelby County versus Holder, 2013, the court clarified that states have flexibility in administering elections while federal law protects voting rights. Election procedures vary widely. Some states offer same-day registration, others require voter ID. Some allow extensive early voting, while others focus on Election Day. This variation demonstrates that federal law cannot dictate these processes, leaving states free to tailor elections to local needs. 2. Organizing local governments. Cities, counties, and towns exist because states create them. In Hunter versus City of Pittsburgh, 1907, the Supreme Court confirmed that municipalities are creatures of the state. States determine the powers of local officials, the structure of councils, and whether local initiatives or referendums are allowed. State legislatures also decide whether to merge, dissolve, or annex cities and towns. This ensures local governance reflects the priorities of residents. 3. Establishing a state's tax system. States design their own tax systems, including income, sales, and property taxes. South Dakota versus Wayfair, 2018, confirmed a state's authority to require out-of-state retailers to collect sales tax. States also create exemptions, credits, and business incentives. For example, some states incentivize renewable energy investments, while others focus on technology development. These policies allow states to shape their economic landscape independently of the federal government. 4. Managing state-owned property. States control land, buildings, and infrastructure. Pollard's Lessee v. Hagen, 1845, ruled states control their lands unless ceded to the federal government. This includes state parks, universities, and historic sites. States decide how properties are maintained, developed, or used. For example, state universities can set tuition, expand campuses, and manage facilities based on local priorities without federal interference. 5. Determining state residency. Residency affects voting, tuition, and benefits. Martinez versus Bynum, 1983, upheld Texas residency rules for school enrollment. Residency also determines eligibility for programs like in-state tuition or Medicaid. States can define residency by duration, intent to remain, or property ownership. This ensures that state resources primarily serve residents. 6th, enforcing state law. States control law enforcement priorities. Prince versus United States, 1997, struck down a federal law requiring state officers to conduct background checks. Murphy versus NCAA, 2018, reaffirmed that states can regulate activities like sports betting independently. States control police priorities, investigations, and regulatory enforcement. This principle ensures local law enforcement aligns with community needs, not federal mandates. Arc 7. Providing public safety. States manage policing, fire services, and emergency response. National League of Cities versus Usury, 1976, confirmed that states control traditional government functions. States handle disaster planning, emergency offices, and public health initiatives. Federal agencies, like FEMA, assist, but the state directs the response. For example, hurricane and wildfire management policies differ by state, reflecting local geography and population density. T8. Setting educational curriculum. Education is primarily managed by states and local districts. San Antonio Independent School District versus Rodriguez, 1973, confirmed education is not a federally guaranteed right. States decide textbooks, graduation requirements, teaching standards, and certification rules. Curriculum differences are significant. Some states emphasize STEM and coding, while others focus on arts or bilingual programs. These choices allow education to reflect community needs and values. 9. Structuring state court systems. States control their judicial systems, from trial courts to state supreme courts. Murdoch versus Memphis, 1875, confirmed state court structure is a state responsibility, though federal courts review conflicts with federal law. States manage jury selection, case procedures, and administration. Local traditions, resources, and needs shape how courts operate in each state. 10. Regulating intrastate commerce. Commerce that occurs entirely within a state is regulated by that state. United States versus Lopez, 1995, emphasized that local activities fall under state jurisdiction unless Congress has constitutional authority. States regulate licensing, zoning, utilities, and local business operations. Ride-sharing, alcohol sales, and agricultural rules differ across states, showing the flexibility of state authority. Real-world examples and reflections. During COVID-19, states enacted mask mandates, school closures, and business restrictions, demonstrating the power of local authority. Marijuana legalization illustrates state autonomy. Despite federal prohibition, many states developed licensing, taxation, and enforcement systems. Education policies differ as well. Some states prioritize testing and STEM. Others focus on vocational training or arts programs. These examples highlight how federalism allows policies to fit local communities while respecting national law. Conclusion. These 10 areas demonstrate that states retain meaningful control over their affairs. Supreme Court decisions have consistently reinforced these powers. Federalism ensures local decision-making while maintaining national oversight. Washington governs broadly, but states shape daily life in ways that reflect their residents' needs. Thank you for watching. For more insights into government and law, like, share, and subscribe.